When you are now opening your eyes, the energy that is flowing through the eyes is not going out. It turns back inwards. And that energy heals. Your own energy heals your own body when you close your eyes. And after the healing of the body, then the same energy opens another slot here, another eye here, which is called the third eye. And you become clairvoyant. You see your past lifetimes. You see your future probabilities. You see new dimensions when your third eye is open. Two things are happening in meditation. When the energy is not going out, the energy is turning inward and cleansing the whole body. All the problems, right from headache to cancer, everything vanishes because of your own energy. You are utilizing in proper ways. Closing the eyes is the most important thing. And sitting for 1 hour, 2 hours, you should never open your eyes. If you are opening your eyes, it means you are interested in the world outside, not interested in your own meditation. There are two interests. You are interested in the world outside, you are interested in your own meditation. Both run counter to each other. When you close your eyes, it means you are interested in your meditation. When you open your eyes, it means you are not interested in your meditation, you are interested in observing the world, becoming one with the world outside. Closing the eyes is very important. In full moon days, the whole nights, we used to sit in meditation. And anybody opens the eyes, I would hit them in those days. It is my duty to see that you will keep your eyes closed. Maybe you are not comfortable with your meditation. So many thoughts are rushing into you, but yet you should not open your eyes. That is the first basic discipline, which in Sanskrit is called Dhamma. Dhamma means not opening the eyes. Control of the physical body is Dhamma. Then all the useless thoughts of the mind will be vanished, which is called Sama. Dhamma is control of the body. You should not open your eyes, that's all. The mind is devilish. Don't bother, but yet don't open your eyes. The mind is devilish. We know that. It becomes more of a devil when you close your eyes. But we want to see the devil straight. We want to see face to face. But you should never open your eyes. Control on the body, control on the eyes. Which is called Dhamma. Slowly, in due course, you will acquire Sama. Sama means there will be no useless thoughts in the mind. The worldly mind, the parental mind, the peer mind, the society mind gets decimated. It is the experience of every meditator. See, the experience of every singer is that before you start learning music, you are horrified with your own voice. It's not at all sweet. But once you acquire practice in music, it becomes sweet. That is the experience of every singer. Similarly, every meditator has got the same experience. Everybody is the same. All human beings are the same. The principles of any science are the same. The practice of any art are the same anywhere. The same sincerity and seriousness are required. So, my dear friends, the two keywords, Dhamma and Sama. Dhamma is not opening the eyes, come what may. Sama is equality of mind, serenity of mind, decimation of the worldly mind, of the parental mind, of the peer mind, of the society's mind, and recovery of the divine mind, which is native to you. With which position you came into the earth planet when you were born and you were entering a physical body. So, my dear friends, this much is the basic science.
Divine Evening Masters. So let's begin the session with 20 minutes meditation. Ensure that you're sitting in a comfortable position with crossed legs, and by clasping your fingers and gently closing your eyes and keeping awareness on your natural breath. Can you slowly come back to your body's awareness? Keep your both arms over your eyes for 10 seconds. And gently open your eyes. Thank you so much, Masters. I now hand over to Master Asha, the platform. Thank you.
Atmavandan Masters, thank you for joining today. We are already on day 16 of the Healthy Buddha program journey. I hope you're all having a wonderful time. Yesterday was a wonderful session by Smita about handling things socially, about handling matters with family and all that. So today we have a simpler topic. It is about practical implementation on how to have a healthy kitchen makeover. So let me share today's slides. Okay, so you all know that plant-based living is the way to go. We need to transition as soon as possible from a place, maybe you are a non-vegetarian or even a vegetarian, to a kitchen which is completely plant-based, right? So what is a plant-based kitchen? A plant-based kitchen should consist only of natural foods. Excuse me. So we learned during, I think, the second or the third day, what are our natural foods. Natural foods for every species would be naturally attractive to the sense organs as indicated for that species, right? So for us, our sense of smell, touch, the sense of sight, hearing, all these things indicate that we are attracted to fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds, sprouts, and grains. So these natural foods are very attractive to our senses. For example, fruits, which are the most superior of all the um, other foods which are prescribed to us, are so aromatic, colorful, vibrant, available in so many varieties, and I call it nature's buffet, right? So different fruits and vegetables available at different times of the year. So there is never any boredom and there is so much to choose from. So how many of you get bored if you eat the same kind of cooked food every day? For example, let's say you had to eat upma every day, right? So you have to eat upma or dal chawal every day. Wouldn't it get boring? But if you had to eat a papaya or if you had to eat bananas every day, would it get boring? In my experience of the past 8 or 9 years living on a plant-based lifestyle, fruits never get boring, right? That's because they are so naturally attractive to our senses. The aroma, the taste, the beautiful colors, and the vibrancy which they offer makes life so interesting. And they are water rich, fiber rich. So both these things are very important. So next time somebody asks, where's your protein? Ask them where is the water and where is the fiber? Because one of the most important aspects of food is how fast it can exit the body. The longer a food spends in the body, the more time it will rot inside and cause a whole lot of problems. So water and fiber help the body to absorb nutrients, help the body to also process it and throw it out faster. Then comes regional and seasonal, wholesome. The food should be belonging to your region and it should be in season, because if we were living in nature, that is what we would like to eat. That is what would be available to us. So that also means it is preferable not to eat canned food, preferable not to eat frozen food unless absolutely nothing else is available. Then wholesome, in whole form. There was one entire day on which we spent on refined foods and whole foods. So food should be wholesome with minimal processing applied by us humans, and we should prefer to eat food as given by nature. And of course, colorful. If you choose what is in season, what is locally available, and try to incorporate all the different fruits and vegetables available at, as on a rotation basis at different times of the week, you will surely get all the nutrients you need and your plates will be very colorful. Now, coming to the practical aspects of setting up your kitchen. So, here are just some guidelines on how you can set up, how you can start revamping your kitchen. So, I understand that many of you must be living in joint families where it is not possible to, straight away go for a complete revamp. So just like, swag says, reduce, reuse, recycle. Similarly, we should also go for reduction and replacement. So if everybody in the family is not agreeable to switch to a plant-based lifestyle, so like Smita explained in yesterday's session, we have to live and let live, right? Without any violence, without going the military style and, telling people that, hey, I went to this program and I learned that all animal foods are bad and I'm going to throw out everything today. No more animal foods, no more, processed foods, no more packaged foods. Everything's going to the trash, or I'm donating everything. And from tomorrow, everybody's going to just eat fruits, vegetables, and grains, right? So food is something very, very close to people's hearts. And if you go this guerrilla style of revamping your kitchen, it's going to be met with a lot of resistance. So all that we can do is work on ourselves, right? Even when I started with changes to my lifestyle, it was only I started making the changes. I learned how to replace things. I learned how to, shop for produce, what is available where, what are the different brands which are available. And during those days, I did not shift from, refined foods to whole foods straight away. First, I shifted to plant based foods. I still had sugars, oil and all that still in my diet. And I removed sugar from our kitchen when my son started getting a deep pain in his ear. So that's when I figured, that sugar has to go. Tea and coffee were still going on, though I had stopped. My husband was having it. Um, so I was getting some packaged plant-based milk from the stores. And then I was still cooking with oil, and the oil went away when my parents had come visiting us, and both of them were diabetic, and I realized that, they have to shift to a whole food plant-based diet. So that's when I learned to cook without oil, and after that I have never bought oil in my house, except, maybe to use a few drops to smear the dosa tawa or to light the lamp or something like that. And even after that, white rice and all that was continuing for some time, and few years later only I shifted to whole grains. So it went step by step for me. Your home situation may be different. You have to understand how to take it in your household, how people will react, how well they will adapt to the changes, and take it slowly or at the pace which everyone is comfortable with. But just like Smita said yesterday, we have to first do it on ourselves. We have to understand all the basics. We have to understand how to shop, what to buy from where, how to replace things, how to make old favorites taste still the same, same way, but with better alternatives. So once we introduce small changes little by little, then change becomes more acceptable to people. So if you have the luxury that you are staying in a nuclear family, you have control of the kitchen totally, and your husband or your wife really doesn't care so much about food, they are okay as long as things are healthy, then you can right away start with all the changes. Otherwise, please go step by step. So here are just a few examples of what you can do. So dairy products, of course, whether it is goat milk or any other animal milk, cow milk, buffalo milk, milk from the backyard cows, eggs from the backyard hens, whatever it is, you can make the shift to plant-based alternatives. So please go for plant-based milks. It is better to make your own at home. We have shown in the beginning of the second week how to make your own almond milk, how to make any nut milk, how to make coconut milk, how you can use these milks to make desserts, how you can add these to gravies to give taste, how you can make chutneys, how you can roast them and make butters which last for a long time on the countertops. You can use nut butters for your rotis or for your homemade breads or whatever. You can even make cheese out of plant based nuts and seeds. So you just need to grind. The easiest one is to just grind cashews, and if you want you could ferment it for a day, in which it will get a little bit of cheesy fermented flavor and you can use it. Otherwise, just grind any nuts and use it on top, as use it for your pizza toppings or for any other toppings. If you want to make a low fat cheese version, you can grind some nuts along with potato or sweet potatoes and make potato based cheese, with which work very well on any savory dishes, for example pizzas, or just to top it on steamed vegetables. They make very good alternatives. So all these are possible. You can make every dish which was your favorite, like your gajar ka halwa, or even rasmalai. All those things you can make with plant based dairy alternatives. Next comes oil. We spoke about how oil is a high fat food without any fiber. So, when you use oil to cook your dishes, not only will the digestion get slowed down, it takes a long time for oil based food to get digested. It's going to create mucus. It's going to injure the epithelial cells of your blood vessels, causing increase in blood pressure, and it increases the sludge in the blood. That means the blood starts flowing slower. It causes aches and pains in your body. So, oil is actually not even a whole food, right? It's a refined food extracted from nuts and seeds. And refined oil is nothing but a chemical. It is full of solvents, deodorizers, then bleaching agents, and all the other stuff which is used in the processing of cold pressed oil, right? So whether it is cold pressed oil or refined oil, it is better to use nuts and seeds to add taste to your dish. For example, if you're making poriyal, like beans poriyal, all that you need to do is cut your vegetables fine, steam them, and then add some dry tadka, add some salt. Then you can add a little bit of coconut scraping on top. Or if you don't get coconut in your area, you can add some almond powder on top, or any other, peanut powder or anything like that, and it is done. It is so tasty, especially when you add this nut powders when it is still warm. It will release the natural oils into your dish, and it's going to give a wonderful taste. If you're making a wet dish like a gravy, you can add cashew puree, you can add almond paste, you can add a little bit of coconut milk or grated coconut paste. All these things to give your gravy base and make it very tasty, instead of using malai, creams, or even resorting to usage of oil. Then comes sugar. So, sugar is a highly acidic food. The white crystals stay on your countertop or in your shelf for years together, right? So, that shows that it's not even a food, because that's what is going to happen inside your body also. So, we do not advise usage of honey, because honey is an animal product. It doesn't contain any fiber. And today's honey is produced in a very cruel way by causing harm to the bees, who are actually very industrious creatures who are working so hard to make honey for their babies. So we have no right to take away their food. So let's not rely on honey or sugar syrup. And if you are trying to reverse a chronic issue, even jaggery is not advised, even if it is organic jaggery or whatever, because jaggery again is a refined form of sugarcane, right? So rather you eat fresh sugarcane, or you can use dry fruits like dates, raisins, apricots, or those kind of things, or go for fresh fruits. The more fresh fruits you eat, the lower your craving for sweetness will happen. So ultimately, in a week or two, your craving for any kind of artificial sweets will entirely go away. The natural craving for us is fruits, because fruits are our natural foods. So your body is telling you that by craving for sugar, you are actually craving for fruits. So make sure you buy good quality dry fruits, preferably buy organic, because otherwise a lot of sulfur and other things are used when drying these fruits, and it can cause some respiratory issues. You can soak dates, and you can make a paste of that, and you can store it in your fridge for almost a week. You can use that, into your herbal drinks. You can use that to bake cakes. You can add that to your desserts. Like, for example, you can make a delicious raw halwa with either beets or carrots by scraping the beet or carrots fine, adding some date paste, adding some cardamom. Then you can add some almond powder, cashew powder, or desiccated coconut or fresh coconut, and then just mix it really well for 10-15 minutes and refrigerate it. And it will be a really wonderful, tasty halwa after a few hours. Right? So there are many tasty things you can do. You don't have to, give up on some of your old favorites, even if you are moving plant based. Now, deep fried items, of course, they can be plant based, but they are not necessarily healthy. So we are talking about healthy plant based replacements, right? So instead of deep frying things like, kachoris, samosas, um, what else, puris, all these things, you can bake them. You can just go on YouTube and check out. There are even recipes for baked puris. So having an oven or a air fryer is a good investment, particularly if your family is not yet ready to transition to a high raw diet. You still have to do some, deep fried stuff and all that. Then having some baked alternatives are good. You can bake chaklis, you can bake chips, you can bake biscuits, you can bake murukus, what else? Even samosas. All these things you can make by baking. So all that you need to do is you need to add some nuts, paste of nuts to your dough batter, and then you can make the same way as you were making, like make this samosa and the filling. And the only thing is that because you are not using so much of oil, the baked items will be definitely a little bit drier than the deep fried items. You're not going to get the same taste, but there is a trick to do this. You can pair up some of these baked items with some homemade dips, homemade chutneys, the homemade date paste, homemade ketchup. So then your samosa or whatever you made will not appear so dry. So these are tricks which you will learn as you get into this lifestyle. So remember, always look for the alternative before saying that no, I want to enjoy my old, deep fried stuff, because it's going to take more than 24 hours for anything deep fried to leave your body. Even bhajis and bondas and all that you can, pakoras, all those things you can make it baked. You just have to steam it first and then transfer it to your oven and bake it at high heat. There are many recipes on Smita's channel. There are other recipes on YouTube channel, so you can go and check it out. So refined grains and pulses like white rice, you know, moong dal without chilka, for example, tuvar dal without these things, or refined millets, maida, all these things. Better to replace it with whole grains and pulses, because that's what contains the bran, which has the fiber, the natural oils, the nutrients, everything will be available if you eat it in whole form. And the most important part is you won't be able to overeat it. So slowly try to replace the white rice with red rice. If it's not getting accepted, do half. So half white rice, half red rice, and then slowly start increasing the quantity so that white rice is totally taken out from your home and you are into whole millets and whole rice and whole dals and all that. Your food is slowly going to be accepted and it's going to taste so much better also. So other things, soft drinks, the cokes, the lemonades and all that with sugar, with chemicals and all that, you can replace it with coconut water, lemon water, fresh juices and smoothies. Um, so whenever I step out, I always carry my own glass. I carry what do you call that, straw, then a tiffin box, spoon, then a fork. All these things you can make it like a traveler's kit. You can find out some lightweight versions of these things and just make a small kit for yourself and keep it in your purse whenever you go, so that even if you're buying coconut water from your vendors, you don't end up buying the plastic straw, right? It's such a waste of precious earth resource, because you just drink it once and then you throw away the plastic straw, right? So let's be mindful in each and everything we do. It's not just the human body we need to take care of. We need to take care of the earth also. She is also a living organism, right? So let's not try to trash her with our better choices. So even lemon water is something you can do easily, where even when you're traveling. So if you're traveling, just carry a glass and a water bottle with you, carry some lemons and a small knife with you. You can have your alkaline water with you wherever you travel. So just cut, squeeze and drink and you'll be very refreshed, right? And if you really want, you can carry that date paste in a bottle with you and you have your fresh lemon water ready. Juices, Smita has already spoken about how you can carry juices, carrying them in glass bottles, and then storing it in your workplace fridge or any other place. Choosing more of vegetables in your juices as compared to fruits. All these things will help your juices last longer. Then tea and coffee are highly acidic drinks. They spoil your teeth. They cause rotting of your teeth. They cause digestive issues, gastric troubles. They jack up your nervous system, causing anxiety and other issues. So replace it with herbal teas. So herbal teas you can make at home, right? You can grow lemongrass at home, then just dry it. Then you can just boil water with some lemongrass, squeeze some lemon, and your herbal tea is ready. Or mint and ginger, any other, tulsi and ginger, so many combinations. If you feel you can't go into the hassle of all these things, you can buy many of these herbal powders online. Better not go for all these dip sachets, because that's again a waste of resources, right? So it comes with the thread and it comes with the whole packet, and then the whole stuff. So as less as possible. Refined salt, that is the white table salt, many of these have added iodine. So we think that iodized salt is good for our health, but actually the iodine which is added in the salt is toxic. It doesn't get accepted by our body. It causes a whole lot of problems. So go for unrefined salt, whether it's rock salt or pink salt, or you can make a mix of both and store it in your glass bottles. But salt again is a poison. Salt again is a chemical which doesn't get accepted by the body. So as less salt as possible you should use in your cooking. Anyway, with fruit breakfast, you are not going to be having any salt in the morning. Snacking also, we said, go for natural drinks and fruits and such kind of things. So, salt is out in the evening also. So, uh, afternoon also, you're going to have a salad. So, salad should be without salt. So, then only the night, one meal of the day would probably have salt, and in that also, since you're eating a majority of salad, so skip the salt in the salad and use minimal quantity of salt in your cooked food. Next comes microwaves. Microwave cooking is not at all recommended because it's high energy cooking. It destroys all the prana shakti and the nutrition in the food. Though it may be convenient, though it may be very easy to cook with microwaves, please avoid using microwaves. The radiation from that is also harmful. Better go for OTG or use the convection mode in your in your oven if you have it. So that means that you are using it in the mode of an oven. So you can use the oven for baking your vegetables or making simple homemade cakes or any other savory bakes. That is preferable rather than using microwave mode. Then comes non-stick and plastic. These are extremely harmful. They are toxic. Their coating is toxic. It can readily leach into the food. I also forgot to mention aluminium. So please avoid aluminium also. Many of the places, if you are regularly eating out, all these places will be doing the cooking in aluminium, right? So aluminium is not a metal which belongs in the body. So if you are continuously going to cook and eat in aluminium vessels, a little bit of aluminium is getting into our blood every day. And sooner or later, it's going to cause problems. Aluminium is a known neurotoxin. So it's going to affect the nerves of your body. So please avoid aluminium, hindallium, and all those things. Go for iron, go for mud or earthenware, glassware, or stainless steel. So these are the better options compared to aluminium or brass or non-stick or plastic or anything of these sorts. Then clutter, stress, rushing around, right? That brings a lot of nervous energy into the kitchen, and it definitely affects the food, because food is again a form of energy which we are putting into our body, right? So being calm, laughter, mindfulness while you're cooking, approaching preparation of food like a meditation, enjoying the process, enjoying the process of cutting the fruits, arranging them, serving them to your loved ones. All this can be a meditation by itself. Then overcooking. So we Indians are famous for that, right? Somehow we feel that the more we cook something, the more time and energy we women spend in the kitchen, we feel that somehow the dish will be better. We spend so many of our productive hours in the kitchen, rolling rotis and cooking, making, dishes which take a very long time to cook. For example, even a simple palak dish, we cook the palak for many minutes. Uh, I'm not sure why something like greens which hardly take a few minutes should be cooked so much. So we are losing a lot of nutrients in this. So we need to revamp our style of cooking and go for conservative cooking and eating. Conservative cooking means go for steaming, then steam the vegetables, add a quick tadka. Tadka can be pre-made, add some nuts, powder, and your job is done. If you're making a gravy, steam all the vegetables. While the vegetables are steaming, cook the onion and tomatoes with some spices, with ginger or bay leaf or whatever. Grind it quickly and then add the steamed vegetables. Add some cashew paste. Add some additional masalas if you want. Adjust the salt and just give a small gentle boil, and the dish is done. Right? So, this is the way we have to learn to cook. Make quick dishes in small quantities with more of steaming and gentle cooking. Let's not overcook the vegetables like we usually do in Indian cooking, right? So the vegetable is totally drowned into the masalas. We don't even know what vegetable we are eating anymore. It's all become mushy and combined and mashed. So let the vegetables have a little bit of crunch so we can enjoy the texture also. So, a lot of new things to learn. It will take some time. It helps if you can go through some videos, or think about how you are cooking each time you cook. Each and every time we can make it into an art and learn newer and better ways of cooking and also saving time in the kitchen. And also, um, cooking once for the whole family but with different requirements is also an art. It requires a little bit of thought. So, if there are 5 people in the household with different dietary requirements, different, likes and dislikes, so it takes some planning to think about, how you will cook, what is the sequence of cooking, how will you shop, how will you make the dishes, how will you have backups if something fails. So it make it fun, okay, make it fun and give yourself some time, have patience. Many a times even after spending an hour or two in the kitchen, your family may just reject it in 10 minutes, right? So don't take it personally. Like Smita explained, everybody's on their own journey. They may not like what you've made because they've been used to a certain way of eating. So it takes time, especially with children. You have to give them the time to transition. You have to be patient. You have to keep making different varieties and see what clicks with them. So when I also transitioned from conventional cooking to this way of cooking, and from old favorites, I had a supermarket right in front of my home. So all those animal based, dairy based dishes were available, and it was a challenge for me to make some healthier plant based alternatives. So that was the time when I learned a lot of baking. I tried a lot of things, but of course today we are in a state where we eat more and more raw, so I don't do all that much of baking. But in your health journey, you may need to go through a transition phase where the food may be half healthy, half unhealthy. It's okay, it's a transition you're doing. And don't think of any food as inherently good or bad. It's just food. It's what the body does with that. So take your time to transition. Unless, of course, you have a serious health condition in which, there is no luxury of waiting for time. You will have to transition faster as per the guidance of your nature cure practitioner or their advice. You will have to do it faster. So, just a suggestion on nice to have tools for a healthier lifestyle. It is your wish whether you would like to invest in these or not. But a good juicer is nice to have, especially if you are going to be making juices regularly. So, it's not mandatory that you need to have a juicer, you can do it with a blender also. But especially a cold press juicer is capable of extracting much more juice as compared to a mixie, and the action is more like a masticating action, like how we chew. So it doesn't heat up the fruit or the vegetable when you're grinding it. So you can invest in a juicer. Many of them will be like, above 15K definitely. But it may be worth the investment, especially if you're all going to transition to a good lifestyle. Maybe you also have people at home who can't chew well, or fussy kids who don't eat fruits but they will drink juices. In such cases, you can invest in a juicer. Then a good quality wooden cutting board. So I made the mistake of using a steel plate for cutting and I spoiled all my expensive knives. A knife is also a very good investment, a good quality knife, because it will save you so much time in the kitchen. If your knife is sharp, if it's broad, then everything can be done in a jiffy. It's so fast. And sometimes this can be the smallest thing which will prevent you from moving to a better lifestyle, because just a small thing like not having a good knife can make you spend more time in the kitchen. So invest in all these things. These are necessities. Invest in a wooden cutting board. Don't use plastic cutting boards, because these knives are going to cut into the cutting board, and those small tiny flakes of plastic, there is a possibility that you are eating them, right? Then invest in a blender. 900-watt or higher blender will help you make good quality smoothies, chutneys, any kind of um, purees needed for whether it's for baking or for your soup or gravy base. Having a good quality blender to grind nuts and seeds to make butters, all this is important. Hummus, right? I did not have a good blender when I was living in the Netherlands, and I really used to spend a lot of time struggling with my blender. So it's only when I came back I bought a good quality one, and it's been a real lifesaver. It's made my life so easy. So many a times the smallest things can stop us from eating healthier. So think about these things and invest wisely. Then comes OTG, so oven toaster grill. So this is just another name for having an oven. Having an oven is good to make any baked items. When you bake vegetables, especially root vegetables, it enhances the flavor of the vegetable. So you may have children at home who don't eat beetroots, who don't eat pumpkins and all that, right? Because it becomes all yucky, they say, when it gets cooked. And when you bake these vegetables, they will have a different flavor and more depth. So the sugars in these vegetables naturally caramelize, and you can make very tasty dishes like French fries, those cut potato wedges, carrots, baked beetroots, baked pumpkin. So when the sugars in these vegetables caramelize, it comes out all warm, sweet and with heightened taste. So if you can just sprinkle a little bit of oregano or Italian spices or any other spices of your choice or any other herbs, just baked vegetables can become your entire dinner and they taste so good. And it also saves time because you don't have to stand in front of the stove. You can just put everything in your oven, forget about it while you supervise your kids' homework, or you can just go for a short walk and come back, and the job will be done. Then spiralizer is like something with which you can make noodles, like long strips from your vegetables like zucchini, sweet potatoes, carrots, then even beetroots. All these things can be spiralized easily. So you can make like noodles, which you can add into your salads. You can add them into your soups, or you can just give a quick stir fry and you have low fat vegetable, spiralized vegetables ready. You just add some herbs and stuff like that. So instead of going for the conventional noodles, you can just make homemade veg noodles, right? So it's also a fun way to introduce more to your kids, to introduce more salads and raw vegetables to them. Even cucumbers can be spiralized and combined with other vegetables, you can make very, very tasty salads. Then pretty crockery, right? So we eat with our eyes. So the beautiful colors of fruits and vegetables need to be honored, right? So instead of just dumping everything, on some sad looking steel plate, nothing wrong with that. But if you would like to have a little more, self indulgence, arrange your food well, enjoy it, sit down and eat, then investing in some porcelain vessels, some crockery, some especially with white background. All these things help you to plate up your fruits and vegetables, your smoothie bowls. All these things suddenly start looking much, much more appetizing. Okay, so last but not the least, how you set up your kitchen also makes a big difference, because we may be spending a lot of time in the kitchen. Having a kitchen which reflects your personality, or where you have brought in nature into your kitchen, also makes the job of cooking less stressful, more enjoyable, and probably a better output will come from the kitchen. So have some nice quotes like this. You can buy a lot of this online, or maybe you can do your own artwork, or your children can write some nice quotes for you, color it, and then you can stick it in your kitchen where you can watch it every day. So laughter in the kitchen brings smiles to the home. Then some potted indoor plants by the windowsill. Have some herb window. You can grow tulsi. You can grow oregano. Then what else? Coriander, mint. All these things easily grow in small pots. So whenever you want, you just take a scissors and snip, snap, and you have fresh herbs ready for your salad, right? Then always keep fruits on the counter beautifully arranged, so that people, as they walk in and out, when they are hungry, instead of bugging you, or searching the dabbas for something unhealthy to eat, they will reach out to fruits, because anything at eye level is likely to be taken and eaten. So keep away all those junk food dabbas somewhere at the back of the kitchen, and instead display nature's bounty as a beautiful centerpiece on your dining table. Your kids will pick up what they like and they will get into the habit of munching on that. Okay, so these were just some simple tips. Last but not the least, about shopping. So, on this lifestyle, we are going to be eating a lot of fruits and vegetables, right? And fruits and vegetables have a lower shelf life as compared to kitchen staples like grains and legumes. These things, oils and all that, these things will last for months together. Maybe you just need to buy once in 3 months or so. But fruits and vegetables are not like that. You will have to have a regular supply management process set up so that you never run out of them, and you never reach out, to something unhealthy. So plan and shop well, so you can, buy the bulk of your shopping should be the fruits, and then a little bit of vegetables for your salads. Also take into account what you will be needing for juices. Have at least one or two juicy vegetables and fruits at home, which will form the base of your juices. Then shop for some herbs, the regular mint, coriander, keep rotating them so you get different kinds. You can also buy a lot of fresh Italian herbs now with a uh, nice juicy tomatoes, some Italian herbs and raisins. It makes a wonderful, wonderful salad. Then lemons, of course, chilies, all these things are staples. Then ginger to add some heat or add a flavor. Then your regular grains, millets, pulses, all in whole form. Then no oil, of course, so you're going to replace it with nuts and seeds. Then a few spices. So these are things which are all that you need. So you can just miss the whole section at the back, which is full of packaged food, all those varieties of teas and coffees and the sugars and the biscuits and the oils. It was such a big headache, right? Which brand to buy? Which is less expensive? What should I buy? Should I buy rice bran? Should I buy corn oil? Should I buy heart healthy oil? None of these headaches anymore. Which biscuit to buy? Whether it is a dark chocolate biscuit, this biscuit, tea biscuit, coffee biscuit. I mean, life becomes so simple. Get in, buy most of your things from the fresh produce section, a little bit of grains, nuts, and seeds, and your job is done. Okay, so these are pictures from our kitchens. So weekends are the time when you can go and buy a lot of these. Avoid, buying plastic bags. Ask the shopkeeper to, give it in big boxes, because this is the way we all eat, right? Or you can order them home and invest in some good quality airtight containers to store your greens. And if you have a habit of cutting vegetables and storing, shop for enough. Take into account that you will be eating much more fruits and vegetables because you are going to reduce the amount of grains, right? No more animal products, so all these things are gone, so more fruits and vegetables. Shop local and seasonal. Find out who is available in your market area, who gives you good quality fruits and vegetables. It's a big life skill, choosing the proper kind of fruit, the checking the vegetable. This is something we have to relearn again from our grandmothers, who knew exactly how to cut a bhindi and buy it, how to smell something and buy it, right? Or you can find a reliable vendor who will give you good quality produce. Also, if you can join hands together with others in your apartment and buy support more local farmers, buy more organic, you can probably get it at a lower cost also. Avoid frozen and canned stuff unless you are living in places where you cannot get fresh produce and you have to use them. Even if you do use them, bless all the food and make it. Avoid creating waste as much as possible. So all this, modern conveniences of buying plastic bags for each and every fruit and vegetable, and then creating a lot of trash, buying all these packaged fruits, I felt really sad. I had this, we could go to my son's school, and, after lunchtime, you see that the whole waste bin is full of trash, aluminum foil, paper napkins, and then packaged fruit juices. Nature gave everything as biodegradable. Why are we creating so much, waste after every meal? Each and every person, if they create so much waste, you can only imagine how much waste we are creating together as a species. And we are not the only species on this planet, right? But we are creating the maximum amount of waste. So let's just use nature's packaging. We don't need to create any extra packaging. Then educate your local vendors also about waste. You can choose to, drink your coconut water without a straw. Educate your vendors about how to reuse stuff. Give back the plastic cover if you have taken it back from them. Tell them not to indiscriminately hand out all these things. So these are all things which we can be very mindful about. It's not just our kitchens and homes which need to be spick and span. We also need to think about our environment. So, in the next couple of days, we'll have a more detailed session about plant based foods and the effect it has on our environment. But meanwhile, let's enjoy the wonderful display of fruits and vegetables which are there in our kitchens today. We hope to see pictures from all of you of the fruit and vegetable stash in your own homes. So, promise us that you will click some pictures and send it to us on WhatsApp. We would love to see all these things, how you have stored it, how many fruits and vegetables you have in your kitchen, and what kind of makeover have you done or are you planning for your kitchen. So, thank you for listening so far. Now, I thought I won't have enough material to cover for today, but I seem to have spoken a lot. So, yeah. So, anything you would like to ask us? Smita there also?
Yeah, Shweta.
Okay. So, any questions?
Namaste, ma'am. Namaste, Asha, ma'am. I've logged in today first time on Zoom, but I've been following your all the videos diligently. I made to catch up on few videos. My husband is diabetic and he's underweight, severely underweight. Should I get him into this lifestyle slowly?
It depends on him. Thank you for your question, Ruchika. So it depends on your husband. If he is convinced and if he would like to give it a try. So the way to approach it, the way I would approach it, the way I approached it with my husband. So he was having psoriasis at that time. He had some severe skin outbreaks. And I said, by that time, I had already shifted to a plant based diet because I was clear, especially after watching this documentary Cowspiracy, that I don't want to consume any animal products anymore. I asked him, why don't you give it a try for 21 days? You see how you feel, you see what effect it has on your health, and then you can decide. So he was willing to do that, and we went over what we can replace. And he saw that every day there was some progress or the other. In 15 days, all his skin problems went away, and he noticed that he didn't have any more migraines or bloating. So, yes, he said, why not? Let's continue. So, definitely, diabetes is one of those problems which responds very, very fast and well to a plant based lifestyle. So, just
Okay.
dive in, get a lot of fruits and vegetables, right? The animal products are the ones, the fats without fibers are the main ones which causes spikes in sugar. So get in, make changes this new year and see where it takes you.
Sure, ma'am. Ma'am, I have two more questions. First of all, can I cut the salad by 8 o'clock and eat it by 2:30 in my tiffin? Or the prana
Yes,
shakti goes down?
yes, you can. If it's maybe now it will last, but in summer it's not going to taste good. It's
If
going
I
to
keep it
get
in the
spoiled.
fridge, if
Yeah,
I
you
keep it in
can
the
store it in the fridge and then use
and
it.
then have it,
Yeah, it's always
it's a matter
best
of fun.
to cut and eat fresh, but if you don't have the luxury, it's okay to do that.
Okay. And question number 3, ma'am, sometimes fruits over the shelves goes bad. Like, they're about to get overripe. Like typical in case of bananas and all. Can I peel them and store it in freezer for the later use for juicing?
Actually, bananas should be overripe. That's the way to eat them. When they are spotty, when they are, when they have black spots on that, and when they really start to give a nice smell, that's the right time to eat a banana. That will digest really fast and hardly give any digestive strain to the body. Yes, but if you have too many bananas and you want to store it, yes, you can freeze them. But remember that anything which you freeze and reuse is going to lose some of its structure, because
Okay.
when you freeze something, the water content in the fruit will expand, and it's going to break the cell walls and cause some loss of nutrition. So
Okay.
always on this lifestyle, you cannot shop once a week and hope that it will last the whole week. You will have to shop and replenish twice or thrice a week, depending on how many people are there in your home and your food habits. But because fruits don't stay very long, as you said, you will have to, shop and uh, replenished at least twice a week. Especially greens and all that, don't buy in bulk and use it for the whole week.
Okay. Ma'am, how about chewing the palm leaves, betel leaves? How many betel leaves can we consume? Just the betel leaf.
See, in my view, betel leaves are bitter, so they don't really carry any great value. There
Okay.
is no benefit of eating betel leaves. You'd rather eat spinach or lettuce or something which tastes good. So if
Okay.
you would like to eat, maybe you can just juice one or two of them, or you can make a smoothie with bananas. But
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of chewing it.
Okay. And one more thing, ma'am, how can you incorporate rosemary into your cuisine? It's a very difficult herb
Rosemary
to
is a
work with.
Italian dish, Italian herb. So you can use it when you bake vegetables. You can use it in breads and those kind of things. So apart from that, I haven't used it anywhere else. Probably if you Google, you will know where else you can use.
And can we
So
eat the
can we give
roasted
other
chana?
people a chance for questions? We can
Last
come
question,
back to
ma'am.
you if there is time. Yeah.
Last question. Ma'am, can we eat roasted chanas? I
You
know
can
it
eat
depends
anything
on.
you want. It depends on what is your health condition, whether you can digest it or how much you are eating. It is a plant-based food, so you can eat it, but it depends on, when you are eating it. So if you're munching it a lot in the evening, then your dinner is going to get delayed, right? So use it
Okay.
sparingly and let your snacks be more based on fruits and vegetables.
Sure,
So
ma'am.
you can
Thank you
have
so
it as
much.
a treat once in a while.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you,
Thank you
Ruchika.
so much.
One thing I wanted to add there with respect to your salads, don't mix your dressing or spices or anything with your salad and take it to the office. Take it separately.
Yeah, and don't add salt to your salads because that's going to make your salad leak. Maybe if you really do want to add salad, which I don't advise, but if you want to, then you can add it just before eating. Any other question? No, nothing on WhatsApp, but yes, Anupama, would you like to ask? I'm unmuting you.
Yeah, hi again. First thing, actually, we didn't get the video of day 15, the recording of day 15 on the group. I missed yesterday's class.
I don't know. I'm not sure if it's missed. Yeah.
See, the thing is, on the group description, WhatsApp group description, there is a playlist. Okay, in that playlist, all the videos links are there, which takes you to the YouTube playlist. So in that, you just look for day 15. It would have got stored there.
Okay. I'll look at that.
I think
Second,
it was shared.
I checked my whole thing twice.
I don't think I don't think they're sharing because they are actually putting it on the playlist, and many people already know that it is on the playlist, so they are basically going and taking a look.
Okay. Secondly, I missed that part about the spiralizer. What use is it? Is it only for the presentation? What is the purpose of the spiralizer?
Yeah, it's basically to make some fancy noodles out of some vegetables, just to bring in a variety. It's not a mandatory requirement, but just to play around, with vegetables, just to bring in some variation and interest, or maybe to get your kids interested in certain vegetables, you can buy a spiralizer.
Okay, and this juicer, so when I make my juices, am I supposed to strain them thereafter or just have them like that thick?
Yeah, if it's a juice, then you strain the fiber.
I strain the fiber, right?
Yeah.
The vegetable juice.
Yeah.
Okay. But the fiber gets lost then. Then I'm only getting because
I think you need to go back and watch the session on diet plan and hydration. So this question has been answered in detail by Smita, and she has explained about why juices and all that.
Okay,
So
actually,
you will get all your answers in that.
Okay, I'll have a look.
Yeah.
And this regarding baking, what I've heard is that baking, because it's done at such a high temperature, the food loses its nutrition quite a bit. What is your take on it? Because I agree that the food, the sweet potato, the pumpkin, they taste really good when baked. But
See, anything when you're cooking is losing nutrition, right? So
Right.
ideally, we should be eating everything uncooked, just like every other species. But if you would like to continue having some cooked foods, then baking is an option. So whether you pressure cook or you bake, also you are losing nutrition, right?
Right.
Yeah. See, if 80 to 70 to 80% of your diet is good and you're eating a lot of raw stuff, then it's okay. Have another 20% of this, unless you are going through a major healing crisis or a major health condition in which 100% of your diet should be raw.
Okay, no, so in a healthy body, it is fine that 70% is okay, right? Raw.
Yeah, yeah.
But now the thing is, like, I suggested this to my mother, and so she's having only fruits till 12, and then a good amount of salad and everything for lunch. But then by 3 p.m., she's feeling very bloated and gassy. So what could be the reason for that? Because is she not able to digest so much raw? And
Yeah, it is possible.
Piles is also an issue.
Yes, it is possible that her gut microbiome has not yet adjusted to so much amount of raw, right? So it is causing gases and fermentation. So she can ease into the process and she can choose more of juices. She can choose more of fruits as compared to vegetables in the beginning. So have these in more quantity, and slowly she can increase the quantity of salads. Also, she needs to chew it really well. Other factors also matter, like taking in good quantity of sunlight, having some exercise in the day. All these things also matter. But during the transition phase, there may be days on which there is excess bloating, in which case you have to monitor and accordingly adjust. So have more fruits, have more ripe fruits, go for more easily digestible raw vegetables like cucumbers and tomatoes instead of carrots and beetroots. So those kind of things she will have to check.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nidhi?
Yes. Hello, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, one small question, ma'am. Like today only just out of curiosity, ma'am, I'm asking. Like my 4-year-old niece, she was crying with so much pain in her ear. So like the doctor has advised her that because some glands in her ears are big and the fluids released by the ear cannot come out, and it is accumulating inside and it is causing an ear infection. So, ma'am, is it natural or it can be also be cured? Like, I know she's 4 years old, she can't go on ripe and all, but considering me or like anyone else, like, is it really possible that the glands become so big and like it gets accumulated?
Yes, probably her eustachian tube is blocked, which is causing fluid buildup and pain in her ears. It's very common in children.
Okay.
And along with that, the adenoids and the tonsils also swell up, causing blockage. So, one of the main reasons is consumption of dairy products. So, is your child off dairy? Is
Ma'am,
she
she is on
plant-based?
dairy. She is
She's
on
on
dairy,
dairy.
ma'am.
Yeah, so her body is indicating that, there is mucus buildup. There is, these are all like initial symptoms of allergies. The waste is getting blocked up, right? So my son also used to have this, and if you really Google and see, right, even doctors will tell you one of the main reasons for ear infections is due to dairy products. Not only that,
Ma'am, none of
the
the doctors say, ma'am, dairy products, like they to recommend ki drink milk, kids are supposed to drink milk, ma'am. Apart from this holistic Buddha, no one ever suggested that you don't drink milk for kids. Like they to recommend that everyone should drink milk. It is must for women for calcium buildup and all this, ma'am. Apart from holistic Buddha, I've never heard anyone, at least I have never heard anyone saying that don't do this, don't do that. So how can,
so universe has brought you to the right place. You probably
ma'am, I
needed to
can't tell
hear
you,
this
ma'am, since
message.
day one, ma'am, it's like I have been actually, I don't write that much in the group, ma'am. I'm not that much vocal. But, ma'am, since day one, it's as if my soul has been wanting to know all this since day one, ma'am. Like, if sometimes when I hear these sessions, one or two, three lines are such, ma'am, I get goosebumps. I get such lot of vibrations inside my body. I can't tell you. It's as if my soul has been wanting to hear all this. It was waiting for all this, ma'am. Actually,
Yeah.
today only I went her with the doctor, and they advised her to get operated. Like 4 year old, they advised her to get operated because her glands are big enough. So I just thought that if it can be cured with plant-based, right,
Yeah,
or it is
that's the
something natural.
usual thing which is told by the medical doctors
Hmm.
that the
Hmm.
either the adenoid or the tonsils they will remove, and that will allow the free passage of air and all that, and then they will drain the fluid and probably put some pipes or something, all those things.
Yes.
So why not go for the preventive method, right? So take off dairy products and all the other acid foods. Remember, we had a session on acidic foods.
Yes, ma'am.
So the sugar, the dairy products, non-vegetarian food, eggs. Why not just agree with your husband? Just do it for 15, 20 days, you know.
No, ma'am, it's my
Should
niece, not my daughter, ma'am. It's with my
okay,
niece.
niece.
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah. So advise them, just to try it
Okay,
out.
okay, ma'am. And
So
her
I
mother is a
have personal
non-veg.
experience with that.
Her mother is
Sorry?
a Her mother is a non-vegetarian. Like my sister-in-law is a non-vegetarian.
Yeah, so you have to approach it in, let's just do it. Everyone wants to avoid surgery, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
why
I
not
just,
say that let's try for a few days and see what happens?
and ma'am, like the doctor said that her glands are big. So, ma'am, is it naturally built, or like, is it something which,
I don't really know what they
Uh,
said, but they must have meant that it is swollen. The glands
okay,
have gotten swollen because these
okay,
are all lymph nodes, the adenoids, tonsils, and all that. So that is what they must be meaning. Do you
okay.
want to
can
add
I add
anything,
here?
Sita? Yeah.
Yeah. See, my sister is a vegetarian. She was a vegetarian. And
Okay.
then her son used to always have these problems, leakage from the ear, and then fever, majorly because of his dairy consumption. And they have already operated him about 2 to 3 times. And then
Okay.
they put a tube for the liquids to drain from the
Yeah.
ears. Okay, so this has already happened. So operation is not the solution, because again and again, even after the operation, the body is going to keep doing the same thing, because his that is what the child's body's pattern is. Elimination pattern is that. So operation is not going to help. but in the long run, they have to go for removal of
All
dairy.
dairy.
And yeah, my sister's son is now dairy. He's not completely dairy free, but the major consumption of dairy has gone, and he doesn't fall sick with ear infections. But majorly, he's not on all of these things. But then when he's with his friends or something like that, they are still working on some of those aspects where he's rather getting involved socially, and dairy products are involved. But otherwise, at home, they are not consuming any dairy products. And he's actually better now.
Yeah,
That's
my
good
son
to
also,
know.
same story. Most kids, the main cause of dairy infection is ear infection is this.
And ma'am, one more thing, ma'am. Ma'am, this appendix, like this appendicitis, it is an unused organ, or like it can be removed if it's pain, ma'am. What is it actually, ma'am? Like, what is the actual thing about appendix? It is actually an unutilized organ, unwanted organ, or
No, every part of the body has a role to play. That's why it is there. So,
so, ma'am, why has it become like that? The appendix is not uh, used by the body. It is an unwanted
no,
part.
it is
Why has it?
used. That is where we have a lot of these friendly bacteria which are necessary for, digestion. So it is a
Okay.
very much necessary part of the body. Many times, just a little bit of rest and a little bit of fasting takes away the pain. It's not really necessary to go for surgery. So
Surgery.
there have been cases who who have been able to avert surgery. Do you have any in your experience,
Ma'am, I was very small,
Smita?
like I was around 15, 20, 15, 16 years when I had a terrible pain, but fortunately had not gone for an operation. It was cured
Yeah.
by itself. So,
Yeah, every part of the body is needed. Like even, if there is a problem with the uterus, no, it is just said remove the uterus, right? So
yes,
all these things are can have long-term repercussions. But see, irrespective of whether somebody has had a surgery or not, something is taken out or not, still the body has an amazing power of accommodation. Still, with the intelligence of the body will try to do what it can do best with the available resources. The primary instinct of life is self survival. So it will do everything in its, capacity to keep you alive, to keep you going, living the best life. So, what we can do is support the body with the right kind of inputs. We provide the body with the right conditions our body is designed for and allow the body to do its job, which it is already designed for. It knows how to do its best. So, we should try to avoid all the situations where it gets into a state where certain organs have to be cut off, certain things have to be removed because they've got disease, where it becomes an emergency. So prevention is, like 1,000 times better than cure, right? So even if we don't have a health condition today, it's always better to start where we are right now,
ma'am.
so that when we are older, we can enjoy, better health. We can use our energy for spiritual purposes, for things which matter to us. Okay, so
Thank you, ma'am.
Pushpa, maybe we'll take this last question.
Asha, did you call me in between? Sorry, my phone.
No, no. Yeah, I asked you about appendix, but the question has been answered. I answered it. So, Pushpa, are you there? Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am.
Hi.
Don't we need iodine to our body? If it is yes, from where we can get the alternative?
See, iodine, calcium, iron, all these other minerals, we don't need to give to the body in isolated forms. That means we don't need to supply it as chemicals, as supplements to the body. Everything the body needs, it will get it from the food we eat, from the air we breathe, from the sunlight we take, from the rest we give. Everything can be assimilated manufactured and extracted by the body as per its needs. So we don't need any external supplementation of only iodine or only iron or anything like that. If there is a deficiency in the body of any such thing, it is only because the body is toxic internally. So correction of the body's toxemia, detoxing the body properly, keeping the body in the right state will correct all these things. So we don't need to give any external sources. So that means that we don't need to supply the body with iodized salt or anything like that.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Okay, I think we are done with today's questions. Tomorrow, I just wanted to say that we'll have a very interesting session where 4 teenagers are going to come and they are going to talk about how they have been plant-based for many years now. I think most of them are at least 6 to 7 years on a plant-based journey, and they will talk about how it has been, what are their likes and dislikes, how do they navigate social situations, all those things. So please do get your kids tomorrow. So if
Yeah.
your kids are sitting on the fence and thinking about, is this a weird thing? Nobody's plant-based. Maybe they don't have such examples in their immediate circles and they want to know how it goes. How is it in school? How is it with friends? Are there plant-based ice creams? Are there plant-based sweets? Or whatever it is, get them to grill these kids. So it's going to be a fun session tomorrow.
Yeah, and also children will understand that it's easier to heal on a plant-based lifestyle because all of these children have healed from some autoimmune issue or the other.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also important. So kids also need to know that they can heal without medicines. Health is natural. Health is their birthright. And if they start taking care of their body right when they are young, they are going to have such a beautiful, bountiful, healthy life. And not just physical health, every part of their life will, have a very good result. Their spiritual growth, their mental growth, everything is related to one another, right? So that's a good start for them. So thank you all for listening today. Thank you, Anita. Thank you, Smita, and everyone else who participated today. We will meet you all again tomorrow.